My name is Isadore Boni, and I'm from the San Carlos Apache Tribe. I'm a full-blooded Apache, and my reservation is located about a little over 100 miles just east of Phoenix. I started going home to San Carlos to confront our tribal leaders at our annual parade that we have in November. I would literally approach them and shake their hand and say, you know who I am, you know what I have, and we have to have an AIDS program here. We have to have education. I would do that for 3 or 4 years in a row. I would write letters. I would write articles to the paper. I had more TV interviews. I was getting more exposure. And finally, in 2010, uh, I met with our tribal chairman, and he said that it was okay. And I also met with the tribal council, and I said, this is what I want to do. I've been trying to get this because more and more people are getting infected with HIV, and we need the education at least. We have to know what we're talking about, and we have to get important information out to the community. And our tribal chairman and tribal council, they approved for me to bring AIDS education to San Carlos in 2010 on National Native American AIDS Awareness Day. So that day in March of 2010, I had 25 agencies come to San Carlos to our casino for our event, including basic HIV 101, including for the very first time we had HIV rapid testing on our reservation. People started accepting me. People started learning more about HIV, and they weren't afraid anymore. And as more people got tested in San Carlos, I started hearing more stories about how their status is being disclosed without their permission. And I kept talking to the tribal council. I was being loud, and I said, we have to get our own tribal law about confidentiality. And so after meeting with tribal attorney and tribal council and health department, we put our everything to the table, and we came up with our own tribal HIV resolution and our own tribal health codes, in which HIV is finally in the books, and it is now the law. Our tribal council overwhelmingly, unanimously passed the health codes and the resolution this year. Everybody has a right to privacy, and no one should have to feel like they're afraid, to get tested, because there's always a lack of trust when it comes to confidentiality on the reservation, and I'm sure on other reservations too, maybe even your reservation. So that's the kind of community that we all have in common. And so that's why it's so important, I think, for all Indian communities to do what we did in San Carlos and to come up with their own tribal health codes regarding confidentiality to protect the privacy of tribal members who are living with HIV. We don't want another disease to wipe out our people. And if we start early enough and we start approaching this instead of ignoring it and sweeping it under the rug, then I think we can get to 0 cases in Indian country and keep our numbers low, and just treat each other with the way we were taught to treat each other by our ancestors, be it Navajo, Apache, or Native Canadians, just anywhere, because we have that within our communities, and it's just up to us to get to that again. Even if you're Two-Spirit too, there was a time when we were respected, and we have to go back to that again, because that's how our Creator created us. Because all of us, we're all children of God, no matter what we have, or no matter whether we're gay or straight.